it's 4 a.m. It's dark outside. And I don't know why, but it's always easier to create time at this time. I guess because it's so quiet. You think it would be easier working in the afternoon, but no. Getting up at 3 a.m., it's easier to make me time. Go figure. But that's how it is for everyone, right? So, but it's important to me as I go through this program and establish all the things that becoming all the things comes with, that I get a little me time before I start my day, or at least in the day. So if we can go ahead and start today, I want to start with a little prayer. If you pray with me. Lord, thank you so much for this incredible time together. Thank you for so many blessings in our lives and so much rich life experience happening. Please be with us as we walk through our day. Please go in front of us, smooth the path, soften the minds, help us to get out ahead of it. Help us to think of others in a way that is supportive to them today, and help us to see and experience what is right and beautiful about each being that steps in our path today. Continue to illuminate for us in them the truth that you see in them, and move us to love. Bless us, keep us, and continue to guide and create us, or create with us. Amen. Okay, quick prayer. Next up, Abraham flip book. Last one was my body. It was pretty great, but I didn't read it on here. Sorry. You'll just have to get it yourself. I read as I can, and I'm as inspired to. And obviously lots of other things happening, but I will say this. I think it's weird to share a happiness journey with someone, right? Because there's so much sort of prep, and then everything starts to pick up, momentum starts to pick up. And so a lot of life is happening, and it feels good. That's what I want to say. Okay, here we go. My mind. Today's flip book is my mind. My mind is best reflected in my ability to reason and perceive. It is most importantly a transmitting and receiving mechanism. I've really been letting that truth in more lately. I was thinking about how the Course in Miracles talks a lot about how, it doesn't talk about it a lot. It says something that always stuck with me, which was, you think your brain is in your mind, but you have a mind, regardless of if you have a brain, in so many words. Paraphrasing. Impassioned puts, liberties taken. But I began to realize that we think like it's in our brain. And then I was thinking about a lobotomy, and I was like, well, if my mind isn't in my brain, why would a lobotomy affect it? How come when they do brain scans, certain parts of your brain light up? So we think those thinking centers are there. And then I mentioned it to my husband, and he had the answer for me. How cool is that? He's like, it's because it's a sending and receiving mechanism. So what the brain scan you're seeing is really, we think it's the thought that's happening, but it's actually the sending. It's the electrical impulse, right? It's the send and it's the receive. And so we're seeing sort of the result of what's sending and receiving. And of course, if you break a sender or receiver, like with a lobotomy, the message doesn't come in, right? So we think probably someone doesn't function because we screwed up their brain, which is part of their physical apparatus. We did screw up, but it's the sending and receiving that is sort of interrupting the mind's communication with the body, or source's communication with it. But a lot of times when we look at these scientific pieces, we're not thinking about you having a secondary component that isn't in your body. I think everything would make a lot more sense if we did that. So I just got my hair did yesterday. It's a little extreme. It'll grow up. It's a very good base. My mind, okay, so just something important to remember. You don't live in your mind and body, but it is a tool that allows you to send and receive basically from physical. It's basically a translation from vibration to physical mechanism. Your usual mind doesn't need that. My mind not only perceives that which is physical around me, my brain, but knows intimately all that I am and have been. So it's still in my mind, even if I can't access it in the physical. Isn't that interesting? Who I've been and all that I've done is still there. My mind is expansive. By utilizing it, I have the ability to focus specifically upon something intricate and detailed right here before my physical eyes, or to step back from my physical perspective and sense or know the greater, more expanded realms of my true nature. So I think we're just so embedded in the physical at this point, we're missing out on some of that. And it's good to step back, and probably suffering in the physical pushes you to do some of that more. I think we're a little over comfy in the West. Not that I think that's a bad thing, but I think we've become so uncomfy in our comfy. So something's off. My fantastic mind has unlimited resources. It is more than the most powerful human computers, having the ability to assimilate data, combine knowledge from eternal perceptions, and conclude here in this moment the best course of action. How cool is that? Let's repeat that real quick. My mind has unlimited resources. It is more than the most powerful. It is more than the most powerful human computers. AI could never replicate it. We think it's going to take us over. Having the ability to assimilate data, combine knowledge from eternal perceptions, and conclude here in this moment the best course of action. My mind is my focusing mechanism. It is the pinpoint of eternity, past, present, and future, which gives me the power to focus the energy that creates worlds right here, right now. Wow. Your mind is the pinpoint of eternity, which gives me the power to focus the energy that creates the worlds right here, right now. No pressure. My mind is the tool with which I fulfill my purpose. It is literally the eternal me. It's difficult to think of yourself as mind. The Course in Miracles will talk about how we are ideas, and it's very difficult to understand yourself as an idea when you are physical. But when you think of yourself as an idea, it's much simpler to begin to understand how thoughts are creative. When I have a thought, let's say I'm thinking about writing a book, and I create characters in my head. The idea here is that we aren't that different from God creating us that way. We've just become physical. It's kind of wild. Like we're really like, you're like a storybook character come to life. But there's something much bigger playing behind you that is who we actually are. And big topic for the morning. I was actually planning to just read about humble inquiry and the power of asking questions, but I think it's a little bit, well, actually it's not a different tune now that I think about it, because we're talking about the eternal mind and how powerful the mind is to motivate our lives. And the key to unlocking that is one of my next books to read, and it's Humble Inquiry, asking people questions. I've been going around life and I'm like, no one is asking anyone any questions. Have you noticed? Anyway, so when we begin to understand that the mind houses so much for someone, that they really, everything they don't know is in there. And we're there to, and we're the lucky ones who sort of know that and know that questions are the way to draw it out. Questions. So rather than read about it this morning, I guess just because we're speaking about mind, I'll at least mention, read it next time. It's about the questions, not telling people things, but asking them, and not just how are you. Since I'm going to be going through that whole process of learning to ask powerful questions, I might as well share it on here because it's something that's really missing in our relationships. Just a genuine curiosity about each other, even our partners, our kids, our friends. Well, what do you think about that? Why do you like it? Why does that feel good to you? You know, we don't talk to each other that way. Generally, we do now, on this channel at least. And then we're going to go ahead and pull a little Louise Hay power card. Why not? Slightly less offensive than a deck of demons. I could use that too. I already know I need to drink more water. Okay, this week anyway. I am open and receptive to new avenues of income, it says. I now receive my good from expected and unexpected sources. I am an unlimited being, accepting from an unlimited source in an unlimited way. I am blessed beyond my fondest dreams. No financial insecurity playing in this space. Oh, gravy. That definitely hit the nail on the head for me. I woke up and the panic is probably more about turning in assignments to grad school and all the reading and requirements I suddenly have. Like, but it's still playing in my space, not my mind. Must be on yours too. So we have our little financial information from Louise Hay. We have a little reading about the power of our mind and a definition of what the tool really is. And I'm going to extend to you a little bit of a challenge and opportunity to say, just for today, listen for opportunities to ask questions. You don't have to ask the question. Just think about and reflect on, if you had asked a question, how differently a situation could have gone. Maybe creating that gap would have given you a piece of information you really needed. And we're just going to we're going to create the space for questions first. All right, with that, go have a wonderful day. I love you. I adore you. You're amazing. Be well.